On June 28, 1914, Austria's Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated by a Serbian terrorist group called the Black Hand. Austria and Hungary was obviously pissed and declared war on Serbia. The war would have just been a small summer war, but due to both countries being allied with other European countries, a war between two countries turned into a global war, or what we call today World War I. World War I was fought between the Allied powers and the Central Powers. No progress was made in the first few years of the war, but when the US joined the Allies won the war and put all the blame on Germany. The Treaty of Versailles was signed in June 28, 1919, which stated that Germany was responsible for all war reparations. Germany's economy was at an all-time low for the next few decades until a man, once in prison, stood up to save or doom Germany forever. World War II was fought between two major sides, the Allies, which mainly included the US, Britain, France, China, and Soviet Union, and the Axis powers, which included Germany, Italy, and Japan. Some neutral countries included Ireland, Portugal, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. During World War II, the theaters of war were vast and varied. In Europe, brutal land battles raged with strategic bombing and risky amphibious operations resulting in heavy casualties. In the Pacific, naval and aerial attacks were relentless, as forces engaged in island-hopping campaigns and faced the dreaded kamikaze attacks. The Mediterranean theater saw intense siege warfare, daring amphibious assaults, and the activities of partisan movements. The Middle East was fiercely contested due to its strategic resources and access, with both sides striving for control. And in Africa, harsh desert warfare defined the North African campaign. Each theater had its own unique challenges and significance, contributing to the complexity of World War II on a global scale. Germany invaded Poland with lightning speed using a strategy called blitzkrieg. This triggered Britain and France to join the war, marking the beginning of World War II. The Nazis seemed unstoppable as they swiftly conquered Poland. But in 1940, something incredible happened. Over 300,000 British troops were evacuated from the beaches of Dunkirk in a daring rescue mission. It was a miraculous escape that boosted the morale of the Allies and prevented the loss of trained soldiers. It was a ray of hope in the midst of a dark war. As the war raged on, in July, the British Air Force bravely faced off against the mighty German Air Force. They successfully prevented Operation Sea Lion, Germany's plan to invade Britain. It was a crucial victory that protected the homeland and kept the enemy at bay. In June of the following year, a daring campaign codenamed Operation Exploiter was launched. The Allies liberated Syria from Lebanon from Vichy France, preventing Axis control over those regions and securing a vital supply line to the Soviet Union. It was a strategic move that dealt a blow to the enemy's plans. But Germany had its own plans. In a shocking turn of events, they betrayed the Nazi-Soviet non-aggression pact and launched Operation Barbarossa. Their failed attempt to achieve a swift victory over the Soviet Union. It was a desperate move that changed the course of the war. In August 1942, Germany made a critical mistake. They attacked Stalingrad, a crucial location for victory, but it turned into one of their major defeats. The mighty German army was greatly weakened and the tide of the war started to shift. Meanwhile, on the Western Front, the Allies were making progress. They liberated parts of France that were originally controlled by the Vichy France, relieving pressure on the Eastern Front and the Middle East theater. But the biggest amphibious attack of war has yet to come. In June 1944, Operation Overlord, also known as D-Day, was launched. One of the largest and most daring amphibious assaults in history. The Allies invaded the beaches of Normandy to liberate France and establish a second front in Europe. It was a fierce battle, but the Allies prevailed, making a turning point in the war. In late 1944, Germany made one last desperate attempt to defeat the Allies through the Battle of the Bulge. But the Allies held their ground, and the victory was secured. It marked the end of major battles on the Western Front, and the Allies were closer than ever to victory.
Meanwhile,
But the war was not only fought in Europe. In the Pacific theater, the US employed a strategy called island hopping. They bypassed heavily fortified Japanese bases and attacked less defended ones, gradually gaining control of the Pacific. One of the most crucial battles in the Pacific was the Battle of Midway. The US Navy sank 4 Japanese carriers, turning the tide of the war in their favor. It was a hard-fought battle, but the Allies were relentless in the pursuit of victory.
My groupmate didn't talk about how the war ended, so I'll do a brief summary. Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, so the US bombed Japan and Hitler killed himself. Japan and Germany both surrendered in 1945, putting an end to the war. The end.